Hey everyone, BT here. As the hustle and bustle of the holiday season continues to plug ahead, David and I wanted to have a conversation about the importance of a prosperity mindset. That's what this conversation is all about. We are talking about some incredible things about being an unconscious competent and what that means, how there's no shortcuts in life, and actually if you are taking shortcuts, because of the law of cause and effect, you're gonna get more of that showing up. If you are not willing to believe that everyone in the world has the same amount of money, that is going to affect your income, because the truth of the matter is that if you are able to make a sale, you can always have an ability to make more money. This is a propensity for prosperity and a conversation about why we pay full price. Come in and check this one out.
Successful people learn how to make their mind work for them. I'm David Nagel, and this is the Successful Mind Podcast.
The idea is just having a conversation about, the season and how we go about doing things, because right now, as you look at it, this is the busiest, I believe this is the busiest shopping time of the year. Everybody is doing something. You're shopping. We recently went through Black Friday. We recently went through Cyber Monday. There's all these sorts of things that are happening, and you do some excellent you do an excellent teaching around this that oftentimes triggers people. And I'm not going to lie to you. There's a trigger warning for this episode, because there's a lot of people who sometimes struggle with the idea of paying full price and seeking the discount and looking at the discount. So that's sort of the premise for today. We're talking a little bit about why you pay full price, and we'll just have a conversation about how you got to that place. Was it always like that? What caused you to change that? And then how should people be looking at as they wind down their holiday spending spree here in the next few weeks?
Yeah, for sure. The why I pay full price. So let me back up and kind of give people an idea of what we're talking about here. In the idea of abundance teaching and helping people become wealthy, helping people build extraordinary businesses, I had my own journey in this that started probably right back around 1993 is when I started to become conscious of it. But the idea, T, was that I was learning about the belief systems that I had been raised with that were causing me to live the life that I was living. And up till early 1993, 92, it was very difficult. I was a young adult. I quit high school. I was trying to make my way in the world without an education, got married, had a couple kids, and I was finding myself in just terrible circumstances that I was creating. I didn't know how I was creating them, and I didn't know how to change it to get out of those circumstances. And they were the hard part about those circumstances was that it was showing up financially as the biggest problem, even though it wasn't the only problem, nor was it the cause of the problem. But it was showing up as the biggest problem, the most painful problem, because I had created all this responsibility that I was supposed to be living up to, but I couldn't because I didn't have the education, nor did I have the work ethic. There was so much I didn't have. And long story short, I was trying to work my way around to figure out, okay, what are the mistakes that I made? What was I thinking to cause those mistakes? How do I change that? And what do I change it to? And then where do I even find this information to do it? So I have this amazing experience where I go from being bankrupt, being on food stamps, have the car repossessed, like all these problems, to literally tripling my income in 30 days. And I'm like, whoa, like seriously fucking whoa. What the hell just happened? This can't be possible. It was extraordinarily significant at that time in my life. And I'm sitting there thinking, I need to know what I did. Everybody around me was going, you were lucky, God's looking over, watching out for you. You've got an angel. Like, people were putting their own twist and spin on what happened to me. And I was listening to what they were saying, but nothing made any sense whatsoever. It was all about magical thinking on their part. And I'm going, if I can figure out what I did, I can create as much success in my life as I want, but I need to be able to figure out what I did. So that starts me on this path of learning. And one of the things that I study is prosperity, right? It becomes one of the learning subjects that I dive into very, very big and go very, very deep into this topic. So much so that I'm one of the leading experts on prosperity in the world.
100%. So
I get to this place in my teaching. This is several years later, by the way. This did not happen right away. I have a mentor, and my mentor's starting to teach me things that most people never learn. And even when the topic is brought up to the front of their attention, it's rejected so fiercely that usually anybody that's presenting it will just back away. It's not for the faint of heart. And what it is that everything that we've learned around the idea of buying things that are on sale, cutting out coupons, looking for bargains, driving a sharp bargain or a hard bargain, waiting around to purchase things until they go on sale, living your life based on how much you can get off of not paying something in order to then go out and buy was and is sheer manipulation on the part of marketers, mostly, to get people to buy based on the fear of lack. So if you study this, what you find out is basically this. There's a law in the universe. It's the law of cause and effect. It says that everything that we experience is an effect of something else. So the idea is what? What is it the effect of? So then we understand that in order to have an effect, you have to have a cause. So when you understand the cause, well, let me back up. When you understand the effects that you want in your life, you can then study to find out what the causes of those are, and then you can create your life to be that way. That's what I did unconsciously when my income tripled. My mentor said to me when I met him, he said, which was 3 years later, by the way, after it tripled, he said, "You were an unconscious competent." And I was like, "What's that?" Did I catch something? What is it? And he says, "No," he said, "You somehow or another stumbled upon doing a few of the right things based on the law of cause and effect. And because you did those things, you automatically got the effect, even though you didn't know you were doing them." And I'm like, "Tell me more about this." And he's like, "Yeah." He said, "Because here's the thing that you have to be concerned with. An unconscious competent can win extraordinarily huge. But if they don't understand what they're actually doing from a cause and effect perspective, when something changes, they won't know what to change. And as fast as they went up, they can come down." So he had my attention, like huge. And so I began to really study. And one of the things that I was learning was that we have been manipulated into the idea of trying to get something for nothing, trying to shortcut life in all different kinds of ways, right? It's like trying to lose weight without actually doing the work. It is trying to have a great relationship without putting the work in, trying to be an athlete without disciplining yourself, trying to make a lot of money without actually learning what causes money to come. And you can go on and on and on and on with this. The idea that we're taught that there's not enough, which we hear from the day we're born through our entire life, it's always something with the news that there's not enough of. And the idea of not enough, or what we call lack thinking, is programmed into a person's mind in such a way that we take this ingenious intellect that we have, right? It's divine-like, our intellect. And we are taught not to use it to create an expansive, prosperous life, but to actually use it to try to trick our way through and around all of the lack that's in life so that we can still live prosperously. And it's utter bullshit, because there is no lack. It is all abundance. The universe is completely abundant, which is probably one of the first things that I might say that'll probably trigger people, because the first thing that we do when we hear that is we start looking for where that's not true. So here's the question I'll ask everybody. Why are you thinking that? Why are you thinking, well, where is this not true? Or I can prove it to you that what you're saying is bullshit. This is true. We have lack in all these different places. Ask yourself, why does your mind go there to begin with? Because that's what you were taught. That's your experience. So when that's what we're taught and that's what our experience is, they've also given us a way out or through. What is that? We know it as sales, coupons, bargains, the lot of it. What does it do when somebody puts things on sale, or when somebody cuts out coupons, or somebody's going to give you a bargain, or the first 10 people in the store on Black Friday, right? What does it do? It causes a person to want to buy based on the idea that they may not get it, or there might not be enough.
Scarcity.
Which is what you were talking about,
right,
with the idea of these, Cyber Monday, Black Friday, all of these different sales techniques that we have, and what does it cause? So because a person is programmed with that thinking, they automatically think that, number one, they're saving money. Number two, they're doing the right thing. Number three, this is how to live. This makes me a good, responsible individual. And they don't know that they're being conned. They literally have no idea that they've been conned. So I'll say something that I guarantee you will just mess with the heads of a lot of people. Let's say you're going out and you're going to buy something that's $1,000, right? You want to go out and you want to buy this thing. It's $1,000. And you've got a coupon, or it's on sale. It says if you wait for this extra day or whatever, you can get this coupon and you can save 20% on this 1,000. So people will go through all kinds of manipulation and jump over all kinds of hurdles to be able to save that 20%, because they think that they're 20% richer, or that they've saved 20% because they've done this. And the truth of the matter is that that's what marketers want you to think, that you're actually saving this money. What's actually true is your bank account is $800 less than it was before you went to the store. You didn't save $200, you spent $800. Your purpose in your mind is, how can I save as much as possible? Their purpose in their mind, meaning the marketers, the store, the business people, is how can I get as many people to come in and buy as much as possible, right?
Totally.
So then they mark up the price, or they mark up the price of other things in the store. They're not going to lose that money. They didn't lose anything. So then how can it be that a store is not going to lose any money? They're actually going to profit off of you, but they're going to give you 20% or $200 off of this $1,000 item, and you're going to be now $200 ahead of where you were. It is not accurate. It's not even mathematically accurate. Right. There's nothing true about it whatsoever. And I've done this. You've seen this, where I've taught this in groups of people in a room. Like, there's people in the seats in the room, and I'm teaching this, and I start to teach it, and their mind goes, what? Like,
yes.
And they can't even make sense of it. They're going, no, I actually have $200 extra. No, you don't.
Right. It makes them really squirmy and itchy.
It makes them squirm. It makes them anxious.
Yes,
they start breathing heavy. Like, it is a physical experience. And the thing about it is that it's so powerfully strong that when you start to find out that it's not true, it starts to rattle your foundation of how you see the world at all.
Right. Well, yeah. And just to get back to that whole thing, sucker for a good deal, buy one, get one free shipping, whatever it might be. It gets people in the doors. When you get in the doors in the stores, you're not only going to buy the $800. Yeah, I got $200 off. You're going to buy that $800 piece of whatever it is. But then you're also going to get this thing and this thing and this thing. And then you're going to get on a mailing list and you're going to get more stuff. It's like Las Vegas. The house always has the advantage.
Every time.
The house always wins. These stores would not be in business if they were just giving stuff away. Now, there are probably some people out there who would maybe disagree and say, well, I bought something and then the very next day it went on sale. So I marched right up to the counter there at Kohl's and I showed them my receipt and they gave me that. And now I have an extra $20 in my account.
Yeah.
How would let me ask you this. When is it okay to take the discount?
Anytime. There's nothing wrong with taking the discount. So when my mentor was teaching me this, first of all, he was breaking the illusion in my mind that, number one, that there is a lack of money to begin with. Because what this does to a person is that it's not that it's a bad thing to run a sale or to put out a coupon and say, hey, if you come by now, I'll give you this much off of what you're buying. Whether they're actually giving you that much off or not really doesn't matter. What matters is they want to get you into the store to buy. So they're creating something artificial to give you a sense of urgency to then go in and buy. But here's where the problem is. In order to create that urgency, you have to believe it's real. And that's where the problem starts to come in. I think everybody would love to be rich, but there's a reason why so many people aren't. And if you really step back and think about this for a moment and ask yourself, yeah, everybody would love to be rich to some degree, and there is a reason why I'm not. What is that reason? Why am I not rich? And you really start to give it a lot of thought. Well, one of the reasons is that we were not taught how to earn money that allows us to be rich, pure cause and effect, right? Wealth, earning a lot of money and saving a lot of money are, there's a cause to doing that in order to get the effect of being what you would call rich. Most of what people are taught, especially if you were raised anything from a professional level down to working class, any of those ideas in there, what it really does is it teaches you how you need to stay loyal to whatever company you're working for because your safety is attached to it. And if you're not loyal to that company, I could let you go, and I let you go, and you may not be able to get a living again.
Sure.
This is where we talked about on another podcast,
right,
back down into the 30s and the 20s and the Dust Bowl, and how there wasn't enough opportunity for everybody.
Sure.
Or at least that was the thinking of the day. So this has a person get to the point where they actually believe that that's real. And because that's real, how am I going to take care of my family if I don't save all my money? The truth is that there's an abundance in the world. The real truth is prosperity. But if I need to understand the laws of prosperity, I need to understand how abundance works in the universe, and I need to understand what are the causes in my mindset and in my behavior that will allow me to live that way, even when we say there's inflation, even when we say that there's a lack, even when we say there's supply chain disruption. How can I live based on all of these negative influences and still come out wealthy? It's one of the things that you hear right now going on that we also heard back during the Depression was that the rich people are making a killing right now and everybody else is going broke and they're in all kinds of trouble. That's only partially true. What's really true is the people that understand that everything that we're being told is just utter bullshit really know, and they understand how to make money. They know that they're not going to make money by watching every nickel and dime that they spend or looking for every damn sale to do it. And another thing is this. Every single thing in our life has a financial component to it somewhere, right? Every decision that we have to make, everything that we consider about our life, our partner, our children, our grandchildren, it all has a financial component to it somewhere. If I was raised to believe that there's a lack, then I have to save a significant amount of money in order to be stable, safe, and responsible. If I've never been taught how to earn money beyond trade time for money, and I'm not saying that that's bad, I'm just saying that it's not the only way. If I've never been taught anything else, then I am forced into a situation where waiting till it goes on sale, saving a specific amount on a regular basis, staying tight within a budget is absolutely necessary for me in order to have any stability in my life. And if something changes on the outside, I'm in real trouble if I haven't prepared for it, right? So that is the vision of so many people's lives. So what we do is we help people understand what the truth is and then teach them how to earn whatever amount they need whenever they need it. Because I believe that that's true wealth and prosperity. It's not how much do we have in the bank. It's how much do I need right now? What is the cause of me creating that right now? And have I developed the skill set to be able to do it? If you look at any form of life beyond human beings, you will see that they do not panic when their food source dries up in one place. What do? They go to where the next source is. They know this instinctively, inherently. It's programmed into their nervous system, and they just go and they do this. It doesn't even make sense that there would be a lack for human beings that would be so utterly dangerous, but there is not for the rest of the animal kingdom, and they're not dropping like flies because of it. So what we have to do is we have to wake up to understand what's happening. If, like you said, if a sale comes up, is it okay for me to buy it? Yeah, absolutely it is. As long as you're conscious about the idea that most everything about that sale is just utter bullshit. You're not actually saving money. You're spending money, which was the original purpose of running the sale to begin with. And if you start to educate yourself on what is real prosperity and what are the causes that I need to think and the behaviors that I need to do so that I'm not stuck in those traps that are created by people with the intention to just separate you from as much of your money as they possibly can.
Yeah. And I think the issue for me comes up when, you wait to get a thing you need now, but you hold out because there's a sale potentially coming down the road. And let's take one of your products before. People said, They brought this up to you many times at the microphone at your large events. Well, David, you give your products away you've run Black Friday deals. You've done this thing. And they'll say, well, how is that any different? And I think that if people wait for that stuff to go on sale, they're giving up potentially months and months and months of using that thing or using that growth in lieu of saving a few bucks here and there. I think what's important is if you want something, go get it.
Yes.
The reality is the money will show up. Now, people will say, well, that's irresponsible. I've got a job. I got to live within a budget. And yes, you do. I was the same way. Like we used to shop at a specific store in California when we were first married and had our first child because it was double coupons, and we would clip coupons and we would get diapers, $4 off a thing of diapers, because it was where we were in the moment. Do we do that now? No. Do we subscribe to the Honeys and the Groupons and all these other things? No. You got that out of us really quickly, because I remember, and just share a quick funny story, is that we were getting free internet on an airplane for like months and months, and we were traveling all over the country with you. And Steph, in a moment of pride, because this is what her dad did. This is the guy who used to drive 30 miles to save 10 cents a gallon on gas, not factoring in the fact that he blew a whole bunch of gas to get to the gas station. But anyway, you said to her, she told you that she was getting free internet. She had this magical code and she got free internet. She was saving $15 every flight and all this stuff. And you flat out looked at her in the face and said, that will affect your income. And that completely and totally shifted everything in her brain. And when she told that to me, I was like, oh shit. Cause and effect. If I'm looking for discounts here, people I'm attracting to work with me are also discount seekers, and they're not going to want to work. So that will affect your income is a mantra that has affected me. I'm not always 100% great at this. I will admit there are times when I do seek out a deal. I look for the barest bones. I have that ingrained in me because it was all about safety as a kid. You know, my dad worked seasonally. My mom, I mean, I made more money than my mom my first year of out of college than she used to make annually. And she worked for 40 years. So it's all about that. Every single thing you do has a financial component, and what you put out, you're going to get back. So if you put out lack, guess what? You're going to get lack right back. Exactly. And that will affect your income. Stung me so much because, like I said, we wore it like a badge of honor. Like, look at me. Look at what I was able to do.
Isn't that fascinating, though?
It is.
Like, your pride is based off of this idea that somebody else gave you that this is actually a good thing. And it limits your entire life to what you can experience. Because if I have to say, you know what, we can't go to this restaurant because we can't afford it, we better find one that is offering something cheaper, but I really would like to go to this restaurant, I am discounting my experience in life. And you might think, well, fuck it, it's a restaurant, grow up already. Okay, fine. But you know what? My kid wants to be XYZ and really needs to go to this university, but I can't afford to send him to that university. So let him go to a state or a local college and get a subpar education, which will limit how, you know, whatever his career is going to be. It goes on and on and on. When you cut it out, you're limiting your experience in life. And it will not just limit things that seem not to matter. It'll limit all the things that do matter. It'll limit the experiences that you give to your children. It'll limit the amount of money that you're able to give away. It limits the job that you take. I mean, it'll move a person from wanting something and allowing themselves to have it to having to take the thing that's on sale.
Yeah.
You know, we used to shop. I remember we used to shop at Aldi where you bag your own groceries, right? And my wife would have all the coupons. There'd be a list of exactly what we needed. There was no, you know, like you have to stick to the list.
No deviating from that.
No deviating from the list. This is exactly enough to get us from Monday to Monday, you know, that type of thing. And literally walking through the store and like, okay, the toilet paper is this. Nope, don't get that toilet paper. Get this toilet paper because this one is 5 cents less a roll or whatever. Then it's like, it's crazy thinking. Our whole life is literally shaped based on this idea of what we don't have. Instead of building a mindset that creates exactly what you want out of life, and then the habits and the skills to bring that in. And anybody can do that.
Yeah. So funny story. Before we met you, when Steph and I think we were still in the classroom at the time. She may have been newly into her health practice that she was
that be
working.
When you were in Lancaster?
Well, the coupon one in Lancaster, yes. This would have been in Wisconsin. We were just about to have our second child, or maybe we did have our second child, but we budgeted $100 a week for groceries. And Steph would do the grocery shopping. So you're giving up all this amount of time, you're clipping coupons, you're writing these down. She even had a coupon like wallet that had little things. And she budgeted $100 a week, and any money she didn't spend out of that $100, she got to keep as fun money. This was the agreement we had. Right? I'm totally throwing her under the bus right now. This is not our life. This is many, many, many years ago. But it was interesting because a lot of times in grocery stores, you get sucked into all the other things. Don't ever go grocery shopping when you're hungry because you go crazy. Right. Or because there's an abundance, go shopping when you're hungry because you're going to buy a bunch of shit you don't need, but it's shit you want. Big difference there. But what we did was she would take that money, whatever it was. She spent $80, $81. She got $19 to keep. And then that would be her fun money. And I thought that was such nowadays she like looks back and laughs at how we were able to go an entire week and feed a family of 4 on $100 because that sounds like a lot to many people. That's barely anything. I've had cocktails that have cost more than that, right? Yep. But it's all about this whole idea behind everybody in the world has the same amount of money. And that is probably the number one most triggering statement that comes out of your mouth at any one of your events. People, and you say it all the time, and the people who know you and work with you and that are in your programs that are subscribing to that methodology, they get it. They understand it. They're like, hell yeah, he's right. But the people on the fringe who are outside that don't believe, they really get their panties in a twist when that comes up. It's just fascinating. But I had to share the coupon coupon story. I had to throw Steph a little bit of a bone because it was kind of funny. It's just, it reminds me of all the things that I do. And here's the thing. And I'll be the first one to admit, I am not immune to this kind of prosperity thinking. There are small blind spots in my mind around prosperity. And one of them just happened recently. You know, we're going to Orlando after Christmas to spend a few days at the parks. All the Disney parks were sold out. We got into a Universal park. They jacked the prices up so damn high that it's almost to the point where it was making me sick because I got to press the blue button. And Steph flat out looked at me because it kind of threw me off a little bit. She looked at me and she said, "Do you not think you're worth it?" Because no amount of money I have in my account, because of where I came from, it's hard for me. I just want to hoard. I just want to save. I just want to sit on it like Smaug in, you know, The Lord of the Rings. I just want to sit on my gold and it'll consume you from the inside out. Right. And it totally threw me off. And I know that what she says, and I know that what you say is correct, but there are times when my mind, my programming kicks in, and if you're not bubbled up, if you don't have your bubble on or what's the truth is running in the background, you can get sucked in. And I got sucked in, and goddamn if it didn't ruin my whole day. But at the end of the day, I shook it off. I woke up and was like, hell yeah, you are worth it, and you've got it, and you should enjoy it. I'm always thinking about what I'm going to lose instead of what I'm going to gain. Start walking the talk, so to speak. And that was really eye-opening for me. And Steph kicked my ass. Yeah. You would have been proud.
Well, you know, I love hearing those stories because not only is it true but when you change it, when you break that mindset I mean, think about how many generations that's got to go back in your family. Same with my family and Steph's family. You change the trajectory for your children,
the next generation,
for their children. Yes. If they're able to pass that along, you know, to their kids and their kids, and not have it get mixed up in the muddle, the idea of what they would have been versus what they are going to become is like night and day. It's like complete night and day. And the other thing is this, and I say this a lot also, but let me explain this really quick because we kind of dropped this out there and I don't want to just leave this hanging. What do I mean by everybody on the planet has the same amount of money? So first understand this. Money is a resource, okay? And the idea is that everybody has the ability to acquire that resource at whatever level that they want. But how is it that everybody has the same amount? Because the resource is coming from the universe or it's coming from God, just whatever language actually works from you. So look at it like this. If you live in a country where you're not in a situation where the government's keeping you from making money, then all you have to do is to learn the skills around getting that resource in whatever quantity you want from yourself. Now, if you're in a country where that's not true, you have another problem to deal with. But it's not that there's not enough money. It's that it's not available for one of two reasons or a combination of both. One would be ignorance. You don't know that it's actually there for you. And the other one is you don't know how to get it to you because there is an authority over it that is stopping you from getting it, like a different country that is, you know, their ideology is keep everybody down, that type of thing. But the fantastic part about this is that once you learn this and you break away from the illusion and you can actually see the truth about abundance and prosperity, you've really kind of removed the last shackles around your mind that keep you tied down to there not being enough. And that's what allows a person to really step into their purpose and live expansively however they want. And it's not irresponsible. It is responsible because you know how to earn the money to pay for whatever it is that you want. It's not a guess. It's not a whim. It's not a lottery. It's cause and effect. You understand the cause to create the effect that you want, and you can do it whenever you need to do it. So you have the ability to be responsible, to be able to pay for those things. And the idea, like the thing that Steph said to you, do you not think that you're worth it? The truth is, most people are raised with the idea that they're not worth it. that they're not worth living that way. I mean, think about, you've heard this before. Somebody will say, what, the old house wasn't good enough for you?
Right.
Right? Like, what does that mean? That it's, oh, you're too good for it now. I see. You've raised yourself above everybody else. No, I haven't raised myself above everybody else. What I've literally done, though, is I've taken off the lid off my mind as to how great I am, not egotistically, but from the perspective of what can I offer to this world? Like, what are my gifts? What are my skills? What are my visions that I'm able to bring to the world? And what can I receive back? That's what it means.
Yeah, totally. It's complete and total freedom. You're right. It's the freedom to be able to create. You have no fear because you can create. If you were to lose everything today, tomorrow you'd reset and you'd build it right back up. Exactly. You've done that in your life. So it's all about freedom. You are the master when it comes to having a propensity for prosperity. I'm grateful for your teachings, even though I slip up now and again, and I'm sure people out there do too. Just keep staying the course, pay full price, and just keep plugging through in this holiday season.
So let's add that just 1 minute before we go.
Sure.
When we say pay full price, the idea is that if you can get to the point where paying full price is not making you crazy anymore, and you can see the value in giving and receiving, but then you transfer it over to your ability to earn full price, right? You break the back on both sides, and now you're free. And then when a sale does come along, if you want to participate, that's fine. I do participate sometimes, right? It's not that I don't, but the idea was, could I be comfortable paying full price, or did I literally have to rearrange my entire life in order to take advantage of a $20 sale on a pair of shoes?
Yeah, you got there. It's beautiful. Well, this is a great lesson. I love this conversation. It really gets me some marching orders, what I need to do. Hopefully it does the same for people out there. Thanks, David.
You bet.
All right.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully this was some powerful information during this hustle and bustle that is the holiday season. There's a lot of money going out. There's a lot of goodwill, and I'm sure there's some people that are seeking out the deals. Remember, if you seek out a deal, it's okay, but if you wait to get the thing you need or want because you're waiting it to go on sale, you're not going about it the right way. Cause and effect will bite you in the backside. So leave us a comment down below. Let us know how you're using this information in your life. Be sure and subscribe. Ring that bell so you don't miss a second of these wonderful conversations on Full Throttle Thursday. Until the next time, get out there and get shopping.
Thanks for listening to the Successful Mind podcast. And if you like what you heard and you want to know more, go to davidnagel.com/free stuff.